Well, I thought we improved from Ball State to Southeastern defensively. That's something I've been harping on every single week. Been talking about it with our guys since they got here in June. And again, it's a long season. We want to just continue to get better at practice and even get better in the games that we play. And so I was pleased with our defense in the first half. I thought in the second half we, did some, uncharacteristic things in terms of putting those guys on the foul line, like we did against Ball State. So we got to continue to improve in that area and be more disciplined and be consistent at doing what we do at practice. But I did think we had better carryover from what we do from a defensive standpoint to the Southeastern game. I think we started the game off, I want to say the score was like 11-0. So I was pleased from a defensive standpoint. And I thought we did a better job offensively in terms of the ball movement. And so I thought we shared the ball better in the first half than we did in the second half. I thought we got stagnant there in the second half. And so, again, guys, look, it's a long year. And, you just continue to, build and try to, get your team going in the right direction at practice. So, but we are improving.
Well, again, like you say, it's really early, but we talked about the depth you have. And as guys start getting healthy, is it a deal where you're going to have a core guys who are going to play a lot of minutes no matter who you play, and then other guys are going to play more minutes depending on the style of defense y'all are facing? Is that kind of how that's going to work?
I tell our guys, you got to earn your keep every day. That starts at practice. So practice determines, the amount of minutes these guys get. I think we got 8, maybe 9 guys that could start. Jackson O'Vera started the first game. The second game versus Southeastern, he came off the bench. And that wasn't nothing against him. Right, it's just a coach's decision, things like that, and hey, it ended up benefiting us. And so, but for guys to get minutes in the games, they got to earn it in practice. That's where it starts at. So I look forward to practicing every single day.
For certain guys that haven't played a lot of minutes, maybe because of health, how many of those are getting closer, or is this not the week for them?
Yeah, well, we had Karis Bilal back. But then he re-injured his foot, so now he's going to be out again, and so it's just unfortunate. He did some things in the amount of minute and time that he got. I think it was right at a minute against Ball State, but during his time on that floor, he did things that helps. Especially from a defensive standpoint, it's just not good for him that he has to sit out again. So, but a lot of the guys' minutes are because of their health and them getting back into the fold and getting comfortable, with practicing and the speed of the game, especially since they've been out, like Ty Jones. Ty Jones is just getting back. You saw him in 2 games, but, that kid has been out. Same thing for Karis, who's obviously out again. Right. And so Joshua Lewis, who was out a couple of months for a groin injury. And so, all of those guys, it just takes time. You got to get in the rhythm, but it takes time so you can get back in the flow of practice. And now that helps you when it comes down to the games.
What about Sean?
Sean is going to be he's getting an MRI today. He's probably going to be out. I got to get with the training staff and the doctors, and I'm not sure how long he'll be out.
It won't be anytime soon.
No.
What do you know about Tulane?
I haven't played against Coach Hunter and coached against him at my time at Houston when we were in the American Conference. I know a lot about him, and also coached against him when he was at Georgia State. We played him in a tournament. So I got great experience in coaching against him. So I know what it is they do defensively. They like to run his matchup zone. Well-coached team. He's a really good coach. Got a lot of respect for him and his team. He's got a really, really good team. that's experienced and really good shooting team. And so they like to get up and down the floor offensively, try to score in transition. They do a good job with their ball movement. And we just got to make sure we discipline and get back in transition and take care of the ball and do what we do.
How important is it to play defense without fouling? I mean, you sent the guys to the line a good bit the first couple of games, and now Julian comes in coming off a 30 out of 30 from the line on Saturday.
Yeah, no, it's extremely important. That's what I harp on with our guys every single day about being more disciplined. Being the second guy off the floor. Contesting shots without fouling. And a lot of that just comes from not being focused and locked in. Guys get tired out there sometimes and not mentally strong. And so, we have to be better. It doesn't matter if you're tired. I want my guys to be mentally tough throughout the entire game. And so, but it's very important that we keep them off the free throw line.
How would you compare what you've seen so far on your team defensively in terms of half-court defense versus transition defense, especially going into a team like Tulane where they like to get up and down?
Yeah, I think right now, if I had to say what's ahead of the other, it'll be our half-court defense. I think we're still improving transition from a defensive standpoint. But, again, every single day we got good kids, and these kids are coachable, and so they're improving. But our half-court defense is ahead of our transition defense. But we're getting better. And so, but I'll say our half-court is ahead of that as of right now.
Even though he's a transfer, Jackson the other night, the ball's in his hands a lot. He's making decisions how aggressive to be offensively. Are you and him kind of more on the same page and maybe anybody else that's on the – it seemed like even though he's a transfer and y'all are a first-year deal with new coaching staff, that he kind of is running the show a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson is an elite scorer. I wouldn't say I'm on more of a page with him than any of the other guys. We all on the same page, but he can score. He can play multiple positions. He can play the 1, 2, 3, and at some point in time he'll be at the 4 for us. But he's smart. He's got a high IQ. But again, he has a knack for scoring. He's a huge reason why we recruited him. That kid that had 20, I think he had 20 against Southeastern, right? He's the same kid that had 27 against Gonzaga last year at Pepperdine. So we knew that going in, and that's why we recruited him.
How much did the win I know you talked about how hard your team worked and all that in the offseason. Is there just someone getting that win out the way? Is that some sort of mental benefit for your team, or is it kind of taking it business?
Yeah, for the team, for sure. I've been through enough games where we won and lost, and so I don't really get too carried away, especially this early. Even sitting in a seat that I haven't sat in before. I've still been a part of games. And you're not going to win every game. You're not going to lose every game. And so, you learn from every single game, though. But for this team, to answer your question, it was good to see for those guys to get a victory, and it does help with their confidence and the way they go about things. And so they have been working hard, and it's good to see it come pay off.
What did you make of the fan reception at Cajun Dome last week, and how much do you hope to see it carry over or even expand coming on Tuesday against Tulane?
Well, I've been on record saying that the Cajun Dome is going to have 12,000 fans in there, and eventually it will. Everything is a process. It takes time, so we'll get there. I thought the attendance at the game was really good. I thought it was really good for first game, home game, playing against Southeastern, right? And there's nothing against Southeastern, but that was a really good crowd. And I think we'll have even more fans on Tuesday against Tulane.
Additionally, you have another in-state matchup on Friday on the road at McNeese. It's a different squad than they were last year with Will Wade. What do you see from McNeese, and what challenges can they present on the road this week?
Yeah, well, every game is a challenge, right? But right now I'm not focused on McNeese. We got to focus on what's ahead of us, and what's ahead of us. I mean, McNeese is ahead of us, but in the very near future we playing Tulane. So all of our focus is on Tulane. Once the Tulane game is over, then we'll turn the page and then focus on McNeese.
Do you see more I'm going to ask you about transition defense, but this game might allow you to get maybe more transition offensive buckets than y'all gotten in the first two games, right? And where are y'all in that process, do you think?
Yeah, we're talking to our guys about playing faster all the time, no matter the opponent, right? Some guys are better at transition defense than others, but that doesn't matter. I think, you got to focus on your team and the strengths and what you guys can improve on, right, from offensive standpoint and defense. And so, just like the defensive end, we on our guys about playing faster, getting into our actions quicker, right? So we don't get down to the shot clock to where it's like 5 seconds left and then we having to host one up there. So we got to improve in that area. But, no matter the opponent, we want to try to push the ball up the floor and try to see if we can't get an easy bucket versus, having to set up and run an action. And now, you playing within that shot clock, and we don't want to do that.
So what is the key to this matchup? Is it the transition defense? Or, if y'all win this game tomorrow, it's going to probably be because of what?
Defending, rebounding, taking care of the ball.